it was brought to my attention in the middle of one of my streams that I was very briefly mentioned in a Not Malcolm video talking about creator programs and paid reviews and how they are not a great thing in the gaming space but are running rampant. And so I watched that video, I have it recorded, I did a whole reaction to it, and I just figured that I'd record this and I'll supplement whatever from there that I find useful with stuff from here. In general, I agree with Not Malcolm that there is a massive problem, and there has always been a massive problem in the gaming space, with specifically in regards to how everything is advertised and how YouTubers, content creators, other people are being paid directly by these studios in order to basically advertise. Guys, that was me. That was me. That was in a 30-minute video going over both sides of what the creator program is, the legal ramifications of everything, what they legally can and can't do. And I should also mention, I was never in the creator program. And I don't know if this guy, how he got that clip, if he watched through the whole thing, or if he just pulled that in the air, because that's the funniest way that you can pull that. Like, if I'm making this video, I see that clip, I'm putting that clip in this video. It's really funny, but I don't know if he's ever seen any of my content before or after this, because that video came out in 2022, 2023, I don't know, somewhere in the midst of this. I was negative on Palia, the game where I'm there, and he only mentions it because he wanted to use that clip, obviously. I was negative on that game from 2021 to present, and they gave me a code to join the closed beta early. But besides that, I almost made $5 off that channel off of memberships, but then YouTube revoked my partner program. YouTube revoked my AdSense, and then just this year I got it back. So I still haven't made any money off that shit. But yeah, no, I was never part of the creator program. That was just a video talking about going over it. What are my thoughts on the whole thing? Well, that could be summarized in an old video from 2023 where I talked about my concerns with video game review.
I don't do video game sponsorships. I'm not a hypocrite, okay? But I have been sponsored by other companies. And just to clarify, when I talk about getting sponsored, I don't mean when a creator gets a free game code. I'm talking about an actual exchange of money.
Yeah, no, this makes sense. One of my biggest worries when it came to doing stuff was being sponsored or being paid to play games. And even with the game code thing, I had an entire video where I talked about that, but I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, no, about a little less than halfway through, I could see where most of his points are coming from. I actually think he does a pretty good job. There are some things in here that I feel like aren't properly being given enough weight, like from both sides of the discussion. I know Inside Gaming specifically had a really good take, or a really good video on things from the other side of this. So I will try to link that below if you want to see that. But so far, it's a pretty good video. I also did a video on the controversy that was Spirit Tea and that whole thing going down. And in both of those cases, it was the same thing being brought to the front, guys. The same thing. This issue. So in the Spirit Tea sense, the publisher for Spirit Tea got in a lot of trouble because he came out and attacked content creators for wanting to get paid for their reviews in order to advertise the game. And people were like on the side of the YouTubers a couple years ago when it came to this. And he got a lot of flack, he got attacked, and I was just like, you know what? People are weird. I can see where he's coming from because FTC guidelines mean something. Obviously they don't. Obviously they don't, because otherwise this video wouldn't be happening a couple years later. And in Not Malcolm's video, he brings up a lot of cases of people being paid for their opinions and people feeling that, or the companies feeling that they have control over what is said.
They would give me early access to the game, I'd play it for a bit, I'd cut together a video, and then I'd send it to them, and they would actually tell me whether or not they approved it.
Actually, a few months ago, I worked with the brand, and in the video, I wanted to say something along the lines of, this product may not be for everyone.
Just to clarify, if your video is a review, and if they do that, they are breaking the law. The entire thing is null and void. That's why you shouldn't take sponsorships from a game that you're reviewing. If they're looking over your stuff and they're approving statements that you made that are opinions, then the FTC is not happy about that. I've actually talked about the Spirit Tea dev got a lot, or not the Spirit Tea dev, the Spirit Tea publisher got a lot of flack for talking about this. And it's true, the people coming out want to pay for stuff, and or the people coming out want things paid for in order to play the game or to cover it, and they don't properly disclose this information, and both the companies and the content creators aren't actually following the law when it comes to a lot of these review style videos. And it's a nightmare because, and I tell people this, you can't be paid for your opinion. You can be paid to give your opinion, but if they try to control your opinion in any way, that's illegal, and you have to be careful because that's literally false advertising and something should be done on it. And despite that being part of the contract that they have oversight review and they don't have to pay unless this happens, if you made the video, you get to that stage and they say, no, you need to change this, you just go straight to the FTC. You're either that's being dissolved and they're getting a fine, or you're getting paid and they're getting a fine, because that is completely illegal. They cannot sway your opinion, whether they're paying you or not. Now, the bigger problem is nobody's going to do that process that I just mentioned, because you'll be blacklisted. You just get blacklisted. You're not going to see the money. Nothing's going to come from it. So technically, in these cases where somebody's being paid, if there was oversight at all from the other side, this should just be a lawsuit from the government at this point. FTC should be going after both the gaming company and the YouTuber in most of these cases for basically lying to the consumer. If we want to get the product early so we can make our full review as the game comes out, we're incentivized to be positive as reviewers, because if you're negative, they'll stop giving you those early codes, and that's really where the problem lies, because you're not getting a lot of views afterwards. But yeah, I don't think there was a whole lot in my exact coverage of the game, of the video. Literally just a 5-second clip from 90 seconds into a 30-minute video that talked a lot about the legalities of this stuff. It's pretty obvious to me that he didn't watch most of the video, because otherwise he'd have more things to point at them with. There's a lot of what the industry is doing is technically illegal, but the FTC just doesn't sue people. I don't know when I'll be posting on this channel again. I'm really busy at the moment. I'm only recording this because I was used in a clip. Otherwise, honestly, I've covered all of this 2 years ago. Most people didn't care then. Why would they care? Have fun. I'm streaming on Twitch daily, currently playing through every NES game on the Nintendo Switch, as well as doing some Mario Kart World stuff, and hopefully Donkey Kong Bonanza when that comes out. And now you see why I mostly don't do reviews anymore, guys.
I thought the entire concept of a review is that it's objective as possible and a balanced analysis of something.
That is not what a review is at all. All a review is well, it's a review. It's looking at something through somebody's eyes and telling them generally whether they like it or not. And it doesn't need to be balanced. As a matter of fact, a review can be as biased as you want it to be.